Do you know what? I was supposed to film this video about an hour ago, but I fell asleep in the garden. It's such a nice day. I got in from work, I made a cup of tea, I went and sat in the gazebo. I was gone. I was gone. Anyway, hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to part 2 of my Q&A. So if you watched part 1, let me just finish topping my drink up. Oh. Cheers. I have got loads more questions to get through because I couldn't get through them all in part 1. So I've screenshotted the questions. So let's get started with Q&A part 2. Okay, first one is from Jodie Hawk 6443. So many questions, or just darn nosy, lol. It doesn't matter. I love being nosy too. So number 1, your most pet hate. Oh, my most pet hate. Rudeness. I think that goes without saying, rudeness, people being unkind. But I tell you what, one of my biggest pet hates is, actually I've got 2. Not when it comes to manners and all that kind of thing, but just like in general. Number 1, I don't like automatic flushes on toilets that are too low. Do you know what I mean when I'm saying this? You know, automatic flushes, if they're here and you sit down, that sensor's going to go off. And it's really annoying. It's a real bugbear. Put the sensor high up, because you're going to stand up. If that sensor goes off, great, you're stood up already. But I hate them when they're so low down. Really bugs me. And another pet peeve is people that want to get on the train when you're trying to get off. What's that all about? Wait for everybody to get off before you even try to attempt to get on the train. I gotta say, that's mainly young people. And I'm not being ageist, but it is. You'll find it's young people just want to push to get on the train. And I'm like, can you just let us get off, please? So yeah, that's a couple of my pet hates. Number 2, what's your most hated and loved house chore? God, does anybody love chores? I don't mind housework in general, but I hate ironing. I hate ironing. The best thing I got was a steamer. I love it. It saves time, saves you getting the ironing board out and faffing about. So yeah, I hate ironing. Most loved chore. I don't mind hoovering. Quite like a hoover. Number 3, what's stopping you from learning to drive? My crippling anxiety as soon as I have a lesson or get into a learner car. I mean, I thought, because I bought a car a fair few years ago, I bought a little Nissan Micra in the hope that it would force me and push me into learning to drive, but it actually sent me the other way, and I just was so fearful of it. Maybe I will learn to drive one day. I don't know. I feel like I've got to really want it. I've got to really want to learn to drive before I do it, because at the moment I don't have that want to learn. I know that people say once you do it, it's amazing and it gives you an amazing sense of freedom. But I've just, even talking about it makes me stressed. I just hate it. I hate it with a passion. I don't even like going in bumper cars, or you know, even going around a track. I'm one of those ones that will go, nah, I'm all right. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I can't be the only one. I can't be the only one that feels like this and has this almighty dread. I don't know. Maybe I need to go to some kind of hypnotherapy or something to get me out of this cycle. But yeah, it's my fear that is stopping me from learning to drive. And number 4, how's the mood swings now? Meh, they come and go. I mean, last week was not great. I just think it's part and parcel of starting the change that's going to happen when you know, your hormone levels are out of whack, and so's your mood. Next question is from Linda C3395. Hi Em, I'm a huge music fan and watched the Grammys last night and thought, I'm getting old. I feel like that all the time. So many artists, quite frankly, I didn't care for. Yeah, same. My favourites were Lady Gaga, yes, with Bruno Mars. Taylor won nothing, I felt bad for her Swifties. St Vincent, is that a person or a band? I don't know what that is. I sound really old. I would love her as an 18-year-old and I love her today as an old bag. Who were your fave artists when you were an 18-year-old and who are your fave artists today? It would be really cool if you asked Chris the same question regarding music. Stay safe and hope your mum is on the mend. I am right there with you with not knowing who people are these days. I feel a bit like a dinosaur when it comes to music. I know certain people, you know. I like Sabrina Carpenter right now. Love Taylor Swift. My music tastes are anything and everything. It could change on the daily. I could be listening to, you know, classical music one day and then I could listen to a bit of like soft rock another day I'll listen to country music. I love lots of different types and I feel like music evokes different moods and different memories for you as well. So yeah, I feel like it does depend on how you're feeling on a certain day as to what you listen to. But yeah, my favourites: Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, like current ones. I love Jewel. I love Lady A. Who else do I love? I'm trying to think now. I'm really into Loreen at the moment. Ever since like Eurovision over the past couple of years, really love her stuff. Who else do I listen to? Let me have a look. I mean, today, for instance, I was listening to Chapel Rowan. Is that how you say it? Chapel Rowan. Who else have I got? Lady Gaga, her new album is great. It's got a real 80s feel to it. So I've been listening to her. Oh, I downloaded some Tori Amos the other day. Cornflake Girl. Yeah, so it varies. I don't need to ask Chris this question. I can answer this for you. Chris's favourite artists are dance artists like Tiesto, David Guetta, like old school, like 90s, 2000s dance as well, so like Sash and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, he is a proper dance music person. He does like country music as well. He has got a lot of country music on his phone. And then he's also got a little bit of like Guns N' Roses and Queen. He likes those kind of artists as well, like old artists. So yeah, I hope that's answered your question. Okay, next question is from CW6739. Hey, love all that you do. Thank you. Not really a question, but maybe advice on how you budget all your holidays and are still able to have treats during the weekends and wee shopping trips. What's your best tips for doing this? I hope this doesn't sound rude. Honestly, just looking for tips. Thanks for sharing all you do. You're my favourite YouTuber. Thank you. It's not rude at all. I do get asked quite a bit about budgeting and affording holidays. Well, I think first and foremost, the fact that we are dinks, that was a new terminology that I learned not like recently. So double income, no kids helps. We don't have any dependents, so you know that means that we have a lot more disposable income. We've both got good jobs that we have worked our way up in over the years. You know, Chris has been in his job for over 25 years, maybe a bit, 25 years I think. I've been in mine for 22. So we've gradually worked our way up and, you know, earn well, and so that helps. In terms of budgeting, we always sort of know a year in advance where we want to go on holiday. So that means that whenever we've been on a holiday, we'll then put a deposit down for the next one in a year's time, like the big holidays. So that's how that works, and that so you can set aside a certain amount every month and put that towards your holiday, and that's how we do it. That's how we've always done it over the years. And so it's just a case of budgeting and putting certain bits of money into holiday pots. So that's how we do it. We've got a holiday bank account and a certain amount of money goes into that bank account every single month, and that's what affords us and allows us to save for the trips that we want to go on and the adventures we want to do. In terms of like spending, you know, on treats and all that kind of stuff, again, we have a separate pot. So we have a separate pot where money goes into, where we use that as our fun money, you know, not bills. This is like, we'll go out and do something, or that kind of thing. We'll go out for a meal, go out for some drinks. And so that's how we've always worked it. So yeah, that's it really. The next question, actually, we were just talking about work, is from Marta Cox reads, my question is about work, and obviously don't wish to pry, but what sort of work do you do? And even more curious, why Chris works nights in the run up to Christmas. Really enjoy your channel and love recommendations. Thank you, Marta. I work for an electronics company, and I work in the sales office, and I have done for, like I say, 22 years. I've been there this year. And Chris works for, he works in events. So he does events, he does like catering, not necessarily catering, not food. He does everything else behind catering. So like linen and all that kind of stuff, chef's wear. He supplies that for events up and down the country. So it means he could be at Ascot one day, he could be at he's worked at the Grand Prix over the years. He's doing the Open Golf this year, so he's going to be in Ireland for 2 weeks. Christmas, they do Christmas events, so they do big Christmas parties. So that's why he works nights over Christmas, because he does the Christmas party. So he supplies all the stuff for the Christmas parties and has to be around and available and on call when the parties are happening, which are at night time. So yeah, that's why he works nights at Christmas. So yeah, that's what we do. The next question is from Rebecca's_ramblings. Hi Em, I've been watching you for years and love your videos. You have a very relatable, warm style. Thank you, Rebecca, that's really kind. I've just started posting a few videos myself, and I'd like to ask if you have any tips or suggestions for someone just starting out on YouTube. Thank you. Well, firstly, I will link your channel in my description below, so go and check out Rebecca's channel. In terms of tips and suggestions, I think I would say don't put too much pressure on yourself. And I'm only just learning this now. Well, I've been learning it over the years, but I feel like in the beginning I was so keen to film everything all the time when you don't need to. I think make sure when you do it you're enjoying it. Don't do it because you feel you have to do it. I think that's my main tip, because if you feel like you have to do it, you won't enjoy it. And if you feel like you need to take a break, this is just a hobby. Just remember that it's just a hobby. I know a lot of YouTubers have created wonderful, amazing careers out of this, but I feel for me, I never felt like I had that desire to do that, because once you do that, I feel like the pressure is like immense. If you don't put content out there, you are not getting paid, you're not getting a wage, and I don't ever want to feel like that. I have a secure job. This is just a bonus. This is a hobby that I've loved for years. And so yeah, if I was to give any tips, it's just treat this as a bit of fun. Unless you want to make a big career out of it, then go for it. You know, the world is your oyster. But yeah, in the beginning, just don't put too much pressure on yourself. Film when you want to film, and film something that you love and that you enjoy and that you want to talk about. Yeah, I think they would be my tips. And also, I feel like in the beginning I wanted the best camera and the best this. You don't need that. You can film on your phone these days. The quality of iPhones are just as good as like these cameras at the moment. So yeah, don't worry about having the best equipment or the best aesthetic or the best background, you know. I'm not one of these people that has a burning candle in the background of videos. I'm just, you know, what you see is what you get. So yeah, I think that'd be my little tips for starting out, and good luck. I hope it all goes well. I will check out your channel later on when I've finished recording this. But yeah, I will, like I say, leave the link, so go and check out Rebecca. Okay, next question is from Rita Lee -LD4YF. The advice I was given by my mum before marriage was find the man who irritates you the least. I guess I have weathered the irritants, as it's our emerald anniversary this year. Congratulations. But my question is Is there anything about Chris that really irritates you? That's such a good question. It's quite interesting. Not really, if I'm honest. No. But the only thing that springs to mind, and it's going to sound really ridiculous, is sometimes if I'm up before him and I go downstairs and then he comes downstairs and I go back up. God, this is a really long-winded way of saying what I'm going to say. Sometimes he makes his half of the bed and doesn't make my half of the bed. And that irritates me. And I've said to him, did you not think to make my side of the bed when you were making the bed? And his answer is always like, oh, I didn't think. Did he think I was going back to bed? Honestly, that's the only thing. Does anybody else's other half do that? Or do something silly like that where they'll just do their bit and forget about your... Like when I'm making the bed, I make the bed completely. But he just tucks his side in. I mean, not all the time. It's just every so often. And I'll just be like, what? And it's just a little irritant. But other than that, I can't think of anything else that he does that irritates me. Oh, other than try to show me things when I'm trying to do something. If I'm trying to, say for instance, I'm trying to edit. I've got my headphones on, I'm engrossed in the computer, and he's on the sofa, and he'll just be like, look at this. Oh, look at this video. And I'm like, I'm busy right now. But they're the only things that I can really think of. And if you ask Chris the same question, he would say, 100% he would say, the only thing that irritates him about me is I eat crisps too loudly. I don't know why. I always eat with my mouth closed, but crisps, for some reason, I eat them really loud, or too loudly for him anyway. So, yeah. I mean, that's not bad for irritants, is it? Considering we've been together for 20 odd years. That's not bad. Okay, next question. The light is starting to go, so if this video starts to get darker and darker, I have put this light on here, and I've got the ring light on in the background, so let's see. So the next question is from Nicole Walker 3653. I find as we get older, it's harder to form good friendships. My question is, do you have a large friendship group or just a few close friends? Also, would be interested to know how you and Chris came about living with your mum. Was this after your dad died? You all seem to have a great relationship. Thank you, Nicole. I covered how we all came about living together in the first Q&A, so if you go back and watch that video, I answered, because that was quite a common question actually, so yeah, I answered that in the previous video. In terms of friendships, do I have a large friendship group or just a few close friends? I wish I had a large friendship group that were all in the same area, but the honest answer is I have friends dotted all over the place. And yeah, I feel like I have different friendship groups, so friends that have come into my life at all different times. So I have my friend that I've known for over 25 years that I met in school. I still see her sort of 2-3 times a year. And that's not a friendship that is, you know, we don't see each other all the time, but when we do see each other, it's like no time has passed at all and we can just talk all day. And I love that kind of friendship. So she's like known me the longest, you know, she's been in my life the longest. And then I've got my friend that I met through work, who is one of my best friends, who I text every single day, who's in Coventry. I don't see her as often. I see her when we go back and visit family and stuff. But equally, she is, you know, one of my closest friends, even though she's far away. I've got, you know, I've got Kyla and Kim and Zoe, and they all live so far away up in the Midlands, up north. But just because I don't see them all the time doesn't mean that we don't, you know, we're not in touch with each other all the time. And, you know, I value their friendship. And then my friends around here, I've got different friendship groups around here as well. So I've got Becky, who's one of my best friends, who, you know, I've got my godchildren with her. And then I've got my other groups. We've got like there's like a group of 6 of us who tend to go out if we have a few drinks and things. We have like breakfast club every so often. And then we've got friends of friends who, you know, we met through a friend who we've become close friends with. It's all sort of, as you get older, sometimes it just gets a bit intertwined, doesn't it? So you'll meet people at a certain event, or a certain place where, you know, your friend's invited a load of other people, and then you'll meet more people, and then you just click. And I think that that's a really beautiful thing as you get older, to just meet people and become friends with them, have the same values. Just because they haven't been in your life for years and years and years doesn't mean that you don't get on with them and you don't click with them. I think that we have friends for different reasons throughout our life. We have friends for a reason, friends for a season, all that kind of thing. And yeah, sometimes friendships break down, sometimes you fall out with friends, sometimes you make up with friends, sometimes you need time apart to come back to each other, and that's okay too. Sometimes friendships take different paths because you're on different journeys with your life. Some people go off and have children and do all that kind of thing, and then others go off and do travelling. I think it's nice to have a certain amount of friends that you can rely on. I know the people that I can pick up the phone and say, I need you to come now, and they will be there. And that's a good thing to know. But yeah, in terms of making friends as you get older, sometimes I think it's easier than when you were younger. When you're younger, you know, if you were to make friends when you're younger, sometimes it'd be like in a nightclub or in a nightclub toilet, or you know, and sometimes the best friendships are forged that way, or through work. So did I even mention my work friends as well? So that's like another group as well. But then equally, as you get older, I think you become more choosy with who you want to spend your time with, and that's a great thing as well. So yeah, I feel like I don't have a large friendship group that are all together, but I've got lots of friends all over, and I have friends for different reasons. I feel like I can lean on certain friends for certain things. They've all got different personalities, and they all bring out different parts of me, which is a great thing, I think. So yeah, I hope that's answered your question in a roundabout way. Next question is from @filling.silence. What's your biggest regret or your biggest achievement in life? My biggest regret is that life didn't take me down the path that I thought it would. Life didn't bless us with children of our own, and that's a huge regret. But equally, as I get older, we have leaned into the fact that we don't have children, and we have forged a life around that. We are lucky to be able to go on wonderful holidays and not have the responsibility. And that's not to say that I wouldn't trade that in a million years, but I feel like we've got to a stage in our life now where we're just comfortable with how our life has happened. But it's ultimately, it's going to be a regret. It's always going to be a I wish that would have happened, but it hasn't. And in terms of biggest achievement, I feel like the biggest achievement in my life is meeting Chris and just having I mean, I'm biased obviously, but I just feel like he's the best husband that you could ever dream of. But honestly, he has been my everything through trials and tribulations, and we've had them together. It's not just been me, it's been the pair of us, and through it all he has remained kind and funny and always been dependable, responsible. I know he acts like a big kid sometimes, but he's very responsible, and we've carried each other through life, and he's just always been supportive and picked me up when I've been down, and always been there, and always been able to cheer me up. You know, sometimes it's the little things, sometimes it is the things like he will pick me up from the station and he will have got me my favourite drink because he thought I might be thirsty. You know, sometimes it's the little things, isn't it, as well as the big things. And so I feel like he is my greatest achievement. Elizabeth Dickinson 6512, how did you decide you wanted to start a YouTube channel? Oh, I decided I wanted to do a YouTube channel after I had a blog. So for years I had a blog, and I was on Twitter. Remember Twitter? I haven't had Twitter for years. I just felt like it was just people shouting at each other. But on Twitter, I have to thank Twitter because I met Kyla through there, and also Zoe on there. And so I met them because I was following blogs, and then I found Kyla's YouTube channel, and then we just started talking, and then Kyla invited me over to do a Kyla talk, and I just thought, you know what, this is fun. I could actually try and do this. I think that I'd enjoy it. And so it sort of stemmed off from there, really, and I just plucked up the courage to film on my phone, and I just started doing it from there. I did little odd vlogs, I did outfits of the day videos that lasted like a minute. I did what else did I do, like GlossyBox unboxings in like 2014 or whatever. Yeah, so that's how it started. I mean, I'm still doing GlossyBox bits and bobs, but that's, yeah, if I think back of like old school, it used to be little vlogs, outfits of the day, unboxings, yeah, and it's been a hobby that I have loved and not wanted to give up, which obviously I mentioned earlier. So yeah, that's what made me decide to start a YouTube channel, because I saw others doing it and thought, I'm going to give it a go. Next question is from Iris Azu 1980. What type of work do you and your hubby do? What part of England do you live? So we touched on what we do in another question. What part of England do we live? We live in Dorset, so in the southwest of England, and I love where we live because we are in the countryside, but equally we are like 40 minutes drive from the beach. So yeah, we live in Dorset. Okay, so this is the penultimate question. It's from Liz Evans 257. Hi Em, I hope you're all okay. Love to Mum and Chris too. My questions are, okay, so there's 3 questions. What are your 3 favourite things about Chris? Maybe you could ask Chris to give his answer too about you. Maybe I'll ask him in a vlog, maybe, because he's doing some work right now downstairs, so I don't want to disturb him. But my 3 favourite things about Chris are, I think I've already said them. He makes me laugh every single day, so he's got a great sense of humour. He's kind, he's loving, he's silly, he's dependable, he's responsible, but also he is spontaneous as well. He will think nothing about getting in the car and be like, should we go here? And I love that. I love that we can just go wherever. That's more than 3. That's like, have I done like 6, 7? That's a lot. I've got a lot of favourite things about Chris, haven't I? Number 2, what would be the best piece of advice you could give your 16-year-old self? Oh my goodness. This is like that, you know, that thing that went around the trend where it's like, I met my 16-year-old self, or met my younger self for coffee. And actually, what did I put for that? Because I did do that. What did I put for that? Let me read what I did for that. Okay, so here is what I wrote for when I met my younger self. I met my younger self for coffee. She orders a tea, and so do I. Nothing's changed there. She told me she just had a row with her dad over going out with her mates. I told her to give him a hug, apologise and spend quality time with him, as some friends will come and go, but time with him is precious. She asked if she would ever be skinny. I told her not to focus on numbers and just worry about being a good, kind person. She said she doesn't feel pretty enough to get a boyfriend. I told her that she will feel loved beyond measure by the one. She asked if we have a family like she wanted. I sipped my tea and I hugged her tight and told her that families come in all different ways and sometimes journeys are hard, but we are stronger than we think we are. Yeah, so that's what I'd tell my 16-year-old self. Whew, that was a bit deep, wasn't it? Okay, the last question from Liz is, have you got any phobias? Spiders. Hate them. Spiders. Small ones, big ones, medium ones, any ones. Yeah, spiders. Okay, and this is the last question, and it comes from MMP-124. And the question is, what is your #1 priority this year? I think my #1 priority, I mean, this is like you could say happiness, health, wealth, whatever. I think the word for me for this year is balance. I think it's about balancing life, and you know, my body is going through a lot of changes right now, and it's about finding the right balance for me in terms of coping mechanisms, how I'm feeling, trying not to burn myself out too much, trying to do right by how I'm feeling. I want to nourish my body more. I feel very guilty at the fact that I'm not doing that right now. I need to move my body more. I know that. I feel like with the best will in the world, I can promise myself that I'm going to do this, this and this, and sometimes when you don't do all of those things, or you don't do it enough, you feel like a failure, and I don't want to feel like that. I just want to reach a balance and just feel like I'm doing enough and it's okay. So yeah, I think that's my #1 priority for the rest of this year, and also to be happy, have fun, travel, all of those kind of things, but ultimately it's just to have that balance in my life. So yeah, I think that's what the priority is this year. And that is it. That is the end of the questions. Thank you to everybody that sent in a question all those months ago. I hope I've answered all of them. I think I've answered all of them. If I've missed any, I apologise. I'm sure I will do another one of these in the next few months or so. I really enjoy filming Q&As because I feel like I like to do sit down chatty videos anyway, and it's nice for you to sort of just get a coffee and sit with me and just get to know me a little bit more. And yeah, I really enjoy them. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video, whenever that will be. But yeah, I will see you soon. Take care and have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.